is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Codenames and Codenames Duet. They're both here. I'm not doing a run-through for Codenames because Codenames Duet encapsulates pretty much what Codenames does, except we don't have another team to play against. So this game, it came out 5 years ago, and while in the Spiel des Jahres, it has spawned so many themed Harry Potter, Disney, Marvel pictures.
After Dark.
After Dark.
The obligatory adult version.
Right. And then the Duet. And my personal preference is Duet. Even though it is harder, I love the cooperative nature more than it's still cooperative with another person.
Yeah.
But because it's just two people playing the Duet version, it's less frustrating.
Okay.
Because you're not in a competitive mindset with another team.
Okay.
Like, you're not mad that one other person's not getting your clues, but then the other team is just, oh yeah, we're getting it, yeah. And it's like you slowly see, and I don't like how Codenames starts, where it's like, because it's like one team goes first, but they have one extra clue.
Right.
I don't think that balances out. I do feel like going first actually is still a pretty significant advantage.
Okay.
So this game has been out forever at this point, and I love it.
Okay.
It's a very double-edged sword because, like I just mentioned, it could be frustrating because there's so many things that can just go wrong.
Oh yeah.
With you,
every single time.
Yes. With how many cards that come out, just trying to figure out the best combination instead of just being like, oh, Gary won.
Yeah.
Oh, Knight won.
Yeah.
It just because, and especially in Duet, you cannot do that.
Right.
So you're always trying to tie, at least three together.
Trying to.
And you're sitting there, and as the one giving clues, which is both sides are justifying it in their head the entire time. Like I could be like barbarian. You're like, well, barbarians are old dinosaur, and it's like, I see where you're coming from.
They're
guess.
both as old as ancient history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are your thoughts on Codenames?
I very much enjoyed Codenames. I have played the team version more often, and I've enjoyed the team version, but that, again, could be the environment that we were in, the teams that we had.
Yeah.
Because we always had a raucous fun. It wasn't a sitting down and concentrating and trying to beat the other team. It was more of a, after a couple of rounds, one team is usually ahead, and then the other one's just having fun.
Yeah.
But, that's, I can see if you're in a small group, that's always been in a public place.
Right.
If you're in a small group focused on actually trying to beat the other team, then I can see how that would be more frustrating. Giving clues is rough.
Yeah.
And in this, we're both clue givers, so I can't escape. So, I haven't played duets as much, but I like it for very different reasons.
Yeah.
The same basic mechanic.
Sure. And you brought up a good point. I will say, the Codenames is more party.
Yes.
I would say that.
Yes.
Duet by nature is not a party game because you can't play with... I guess you technically can. They have rules in here for more than two players. But it's like, at that point, just play the regular game.
Yeah.
You can actually own both, and then that just gives you more cards.
Yeah.
And it all relatively fits in the base game box. But yeah, Duet is a much more... tactical game.
Yeah, more strategy.
Yeah.
More concentrating on getting stuff done. But also, I would not want it to be competitive this way.
Oh,
and I
right.
don't know. I can't envision how it would be.
Yeah.
The way that they have created a cooperative effort for only two people is really nice.
Yeah.
It's a great system. We can help each other out and not even know it. Like, you covered up one of my words.
Yeah.
I made you guess a word. Now I don't have to guess that word.
Right. But what they do is they balance that because it's like, oh yeah, we share 3 clues. We don't know what they are, but it's like, oh, thank God you got rid of that one. That was a hard one. But it's like, oh man, but one of my assassins is not his.
Yeah.
So it's like, shit, I don't want to guess it because I think...
there's a psychological effect of...
Let's see. 1...
My assassin word...
Yeah, I think...
I'm avoiding. So
Right, and I don't know if all of the clue cards, if only one assassin matches and then the other two are off, because in ours, both of our assassins were paddle,
Okay.
and you guessed it anyway.
Yep.
I
Well,
hate
because okay, that's not my assassin word. It's safe to guess.
But it was your assassin word.
I mean, yeah.
But yes, but the other ones,
Opposite
the other two are not. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, so it's like, man, do I go on the off chance and guess gymnast or sleep, hoping that's not the shared one
Yeah.
that we got? So yeah, they made this because it's cooperative,
Mm-hmm.
but man, it's so much of getting into the mind of your player.
Yeah.
Of your
and I would also
teammate.
say an advantage for some people for the original game, the team game, is the cooperative effort among the team of being able to say, hey, I think no, that's a terrible idea, and here's
Right.
why.
Yeah.
You don't have that, of course, in Duet,
No, not at all. You just have to...
which I think makes it harder, but more strategic.
Yes. I mean, but at the same time, this game is rewarding whenever you sit here and then you that switch in your brain goes off and then you're like, oh, okay, yellow 5. And then they are like, boom, 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 boom. And you're just like, yes, that's 5 down. Which is, never happens to me.
Right.
Very rarely have I've given one clue recently of 5.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, 3 of those are pretty good. One of them is a stretch, and the other one is just, well, I can very weirdly justify it in a very roundabout way.
Mm-hmm.
But because you have to try and read your opponent,
Yeah.
and how much do they know? How much do they know pop culture? Are they reading the word in the same way that I am? Kind of like, there was one that you mentioned that... in the first game that we did, stable. Like, am I thinking of the horse stable,
Right.
or like something that is stable?
Yes.
Um,
And
or
maybe
some-
maybe you wouldn't even think about it in the way that I was.
yeah.
So
or
I
if it's
avoided that.
if it's like sitting there like, oh, Indian 1, and you're reading tipi as tippy or
Yeah.
tipai or whatever, how you're reading it without and
Some
you're,
French word that I haven't.
yeah, and you're like, okay, I'm not getting Indian in this, so I'm
Pentagon.
not right.
Obviously, Pentagon.
Or some people want to try to justify it in their own head without you doing it, like government.
Yeah. Or your clue Indian, I may not hear as American native.
Oh,
I
yeah.
may hear as Eastern Indian.
Oh, right, yeah.
Or West Indies.
Right, and I think there are rules for you to clarify. Like, if I do say Indian, you could be like, now, do you mean Native American, or do you mean, like, from
Yeah.
India?
Yeah. The clue should be able to be clarified.
Yes.
But if I don't think to ask, if
Exactly.
I just go forward with an assumption.
Right. It should be on the clue giver to clarify it as much as possible.
I wonder. I think that...
Because, like, night, for example. If I say night,
Yeah.
I should, at that point, be like, it's K-N-I-G-H-T.
But I think... I don't know. It may be the responsibility of the receiver to ask clarifying questions. I can see it going both ways.
Right. Either way, the clue should be 100% clear. Otherwise, what's the point? I might as well
yeah.
just start babbling a bunch of shit.
Now, when you say...
Where is it?
Which of these words
I know,
does that
right?
speak to?
And that's the thing is, like, this game, it does give you rules on valid and invalid clues that
Right.
are hard rules.
Yeah.
I can't say whatever tree house
Yeah.
to get you to guess house and things
Yeah.
like that.
Or
And
double, because my
Yeah.
clues have double letters.
until clues are covered up.
Yeah.
Like, if you get house, then I can say tree house as a clue.
Yep.
But yeah, it's extremely interesting because in Duet that you do. Here's one thing I don't quite like about Duet that you could easily just house rule is based off the understanding that I have of the rules. If you guess a bystander and you say sword, you take one of your timers and put it on sword. But then it also says, oh, it takes a time.
Yeah.
So getting a bystander is doubly painful, which it's like, but there's no reason as to why. Unless they're trying to really do the theming of the spy, and it's like, I killed an innocent bystander thinking it was the assassin.
Well, to me, it's just a small penalty for guessing wrong.
Right, but you already lose one of your 9 by taking a tile and putting it on the bystander.
Right. So what it does is it encourages people to be more cautious
Mm-hmm.
and not maybe guess the full number that was given.
Right.
Because I'm not sure enough.
Yeah. I think.
But then you have a penalty for how long you can do that.
I definitely think that with this game, with having like shared assassins, not knowing, shared clues, not knowing, that you could easily just be like, no, the penalty is that we still lose a timer, but it's a bystander.
Yeah.
Because I still don't know, oh, that's a bystander for you, but not for me.
Right.
So you have to look at that and think, oh, like if I had
Still uncovered for me.
yeah, so maybe sword is for you, but so I don't just sit there and be like, oh, that one's out, because it's still not. It may not be, or it may be.
Yep.
So I think that's probably my only complaint with Duet is the harsh penalty, because instead of if there was one assassin, then I would get that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, 3 seems excessive, and as much as we've been able to guess them, but I assume that they play tested it well enough, and this seemed to work out.
I mean, it's CGE. Vlada Chvátil is a stellar designer.
Yeah.
That I think that you could easily mitigate that one rule. Oh, you guess a bystander, you still take a token because it's still up in the air.
Yeah.
If maybe 3 assassins and it's like, oh, if they designed it where a bystander now it's out for both of us, then yes, I also understand taking another penalty. But the fact that you get double penalized and still nothing certain after guessing a bystander is pretty harsh.
Yeah.
For a game that, I mean, it's so hard. I think I've won this game once.
Oh yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I'm just bad. Like, I even tried to clarify with you. I was like, I am very literal. Give me very, if I like, whenever you said sugar plum, I'm like, Santa, yes.
Yes.
I didn't know the poem. I thought it was a song. I wasn't ever going to think sleep. But the Santa to milk one, that's a pretty good one. If you had said, yeah, Christmas, no, Christmas would have been too broad. But yeah, Santa, milk, and taste those are pretty good clues.
In retrospect.
In
Everything's a great clue in retrospect.
Right.
Viking
was...
That was great.
It was.
It was... I totally understand why you thought of those.
Right. I even was going to go even, deeper. I was going to say, religion to try and get you to think Crusader.
Yeah.
And then, Crusaders wear armor, and brain, because they weren't using their brains.
See, and that's where we start diverging.
I know, you just, start making shit up.
But you were lucky that Crusader and armor went together nicely, but then sword threw it all off.
It did. And this game has unlimited replayability.
Oh, yeah.
There's a stack of that much for this. You can shuffle both the decks into one to have... I mean, they're double-sided.
So,
how this is oriented. Oh, it's upside down now, so now I have to get Miss, Bikini, and Nose together.
And there's no reason you can't do it 4-way, too. Same layout. 5x5.
Oh my god, you're right. It is.
So each of these cards has 8 different playability options.
You're right. I didn't even think about that. For some reason, it being horizontal made me think it was 4x5. But yeah, you are correct. It is a 5x5. So then that would mean...
That goes for both games.
Yes. Yeah, I would have to guess. So that I would have to get Armor, Eden, and Peanut. And then because you can do that, have this exact same layout, and then rotate that. Obviously, not having... You can't play this and then be like, oh, let's rotate it.
Yeah.
You know.
But you play through the whole deck one way, turn it quarter, play through the whole deck again.
Yeah. All for this game being extremely cheap.
Oh, yeah.
Sold at every... I mean, it's a retail game. You get a Toys R Us. Well, not anymore. They're out of business. Target, Walmart.
Yeah.
And if you are a huge Harry Potter, Marvel fan... Although I've never
Disney.
been...
They have a Disney edition.
I've never been interested in those because with these... They're words, so they're just they took a dictionary and found every word in the book and threw them out. But with the other themes, I would think that they'd be memorable. Like if I say blonde 5, that's going to give you Rapunzel. It's going to give you Oriel. That's going to give you Elsa. That's going to give you. I'm sure there's other blonde princesses out there, but I mean, they're more specific. I feel like the clues would be easier to give, which maybe is good because we fucking lost every game we've played of this. So great, you know what? I'm gonna buy them now so I can win a game of Codenames. But yeah, and I feel like the pictures would be a little easier because they'd be so clear cut.
See, I don't think that they are.
If I say red 5, oh well, there's Lightning McQueen. There's the prince from Snow White. He has a red cape. You can just see red all over the place and be like, okay.
I don't think it's not that easy.
Yeah.
It's certainly not a giveaway.
And that's all speculation. I've never played them. That's just what's kept me from playing them.
The pictures one, I can't remember if I've actually played it or if it was described to me, but because they're more abstract, it's a little more difficult because then you're looking for clues like squiggly or triangle, and it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm sure
It's got the same problem, just in a whole different brain set.
And so maybe they do something different with the cards. That if two give clues.
So.
No?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think it's still 5x5, 2 teams. Those are both team games. This is the only
one that's 2-player
team that I'm aware of.
Yeah, and I think they have, I don't remember specifically, but I believe, and I think it was this one that had there's like a mission map on it. So you, like, there's different, like, parameters, like, if you, which is kind of cool. I've never done it, but you can take it, and it's like, oh, okay, here's our team, and then what does it mean? It's just like, Prague, your team is ready for war. Take one of the mission maps, write your names on the team, then you have just completed the Prague 9 out of 9 missions. So the parameters is you have 9 out of 5, like if you go to Cairo, then it's like you have 5 acceptable mistakes.
Okay.
But 9 markers total. So, like, you can only get 5 innocent bystanders.
Okay.
But you still have 9 like the timer.
Right.
So you can take this and be like, and just try and go around the like Cape Town is, I don't know, like, but it changes depending on, and becomes more difficult if you want a different way to play.
Yeah.
Codenames Duet.
Yeah. If you get tired of infinite replayability,
there's
more infinite ways to play.
Yeah, so that's Codenames and Codenames Duet. You got anything else to mention?
No, I mean, it's just that simple and straightforward.
That says,
I have always had fun playing it.
I wonder if it's
even
still
losing.
Right.
This is one of those few games that it's a mental challenge, but it's so much of a challenge that you don't feel stupid for losing. You just go.
This one specifically.
Crap, that was yeah.
And that's why I like it, because I mean, I'm just competitive by nature, that when playing regular Codenames, it's like, it's not me and the other person versus the game. Yeah. It's me and the other person versus another team. So if they're getting all the clues, am I stupid? Like, what am I doing wrong to not get them to guess my clues?
Yeah.
But what I am curious about is, I want to know, because this says it's the #1 party game. So if I go to category on Board Game Geek and go to party game and just click submit, what is #1? It is still Codenames.
Really?
Yep. Yep, that is at least that's #1. Then Dixit's right after.
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, this one, not Codenames Duet. I didn't really look for that one. They're all lumped in, really. But yeah, I mean, you can play this with everyone. Word games are great. I love word games because they're accessible. If you're a gamer, like in a hobbyist gamer, you could fill this. You can play this, and if you're a casual gamer, you can play this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. On a scale of 1 to 10, let's rank both Codenames and Codenames Duet.
Separately?
Yep.
So, for me, my experience, Codenames, 10.
Oh, wow.
And it really is genius in its simplicity and its delivery and its replayability.
Yeah.
Duet, I'm going to go with 9 for now, but I can see that going higher as I figure out how to strategize it better.
It's so hard. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just, there's so much, and I like the mental games, especially if they're cooperative.
Yeah.
Because it's fun. I like mental games like chess or, I mean, even just going in a way different direction, BattleCon. We're trying to read your opponent and think about what they might do that's best and then try and counter that. Here, it's, okay, how much do I know about you as a person? How much do I know about how much you think? And how much do I know that what you know?
Right.
And then let me take all of that and try and give you clues off these weird-ass words.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to just be like, here's how I'm going to... Because I only give clues based off how I would get them.
Right.
That's all I can do.
Yep.
But That's part of the strategy. So for me, regular Codenames, I had a 7 on Board Game Geek. I think I'd give it... Yeah, I'd probably bump it up to an 8. And then Codenames Duet, I'll probably give a 9. Like, I really like Duet, and I mean, it just takes one minor tweak to make it just a little bit easier. Because even then,
Which you can do, you don't have to, like, deface the cards or anything.
Yeah.
You can do it yourself.
You can just sit there and be like, oh, how about if you guess a bystander, that is the timer token. Because it still ends the round immediately. It's not like you have to keep guessing.
Yeah.
It's like, whoo.
Yeah. I was thinking we can't change the number of assassins on a card without fundamentally changing
exactly.
the game.
But the fact that you could just, that is one minor rule tweak that I might do.
It'd be interesting to try it that way.
Right? So it's a 9 out of 10. But this is, the regular one is not a game that like Kat really likes to play, just because I'm sitting there and I'm like, how did you not get skates with Speakeasy? If you take these 5 steps, it makes perfect sense to get there.
She can come over with the people I play with, and we can play.
You guys can just drink and have fun.
It's almost a drinking game.
This Duet is not.
Yes, no, it is focused.
But yeah, these kinds of games I really like. I know you mentioned you didn't like Dixit, but Dixit's fun. Mysterium's fun. Haven't tried Park, and then Obscurio is fantastic. So yeah.
Cool.
That's our thoughts on Codenames and Codenames Duet. Let us know what you think of them in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.